Namaskar dear students, welcome you to our channel Bio by Gulab Sir. As a part of series of lectures, in continuation, today we are going to learn about C4 pathway, C4 cycle, also known as Hatch and Slack pathway, also known as dicarboxylic acid cycle. Although I have not mentioned here name dicarboxylic acid cycle, but you will be find this name in reference books. Okay. So this C4 cycle is so called C4 because of first product is 4 carbon and it is discovered by Hatch and Slack, therefore it is also known as Hatch and Slack pathway. We learn about Kelvin cycle, that is C3 cycle. This is a C4 cycle. Now question comes, why C4 cycle is required? When C3 cycle was there to have the production of glucose, then why C4 cycle is required to produce the glucose? ऐसा क्या हुआ कि कुछ प्लांट C3 साइकिल कंप्लीट नहीं कर पाते या उसमें फिक्स किया गया कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड लॉस होता है. टू ओवरकम दैट लॉस in midday time when there is a high light intensity and high concentration of oxygen, C4 plants are adopted. C3 plant cannot continue to have that process in same frequency to produce the glucose in presence of high light intensity and high concentration of oxygen. Because in presence of high light intensity and high concentration of O2, rubisco, carboxylase, RUBP carboxylase become RUBP oxygenase, and hence instead of production of 12 molecule of PGA, it produces 6 molecule of PGA, means around approximately 50% of photosynthetically fixed carbon dioxide get lost, and that is known as photorespiration. And to understand this photorespiration, I have this explanation for you. See what I have written. C4 plant, C4 cycle is introduced by Hatch and Slack. C4 plants are adopted to overcome the photorespiration. With that heading, I have started this C4 cycle. Because question comes, when C3 cycle is there, why then C4 cycle? C4 cycle is to overcome the photorespiration occur by C3 cycle. Then what is photorespiration? It is what the loss of photosynthetically fixed 50% of carbon dioxide. अगर फोटोसिंथेसिस हो रहा है, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड फिक्स हो रहा है, लेकिन उसमें से 50% का लॉस हो रहा है, तो प्लांट्स के लिए तो बहुत पे करना पड़ रहा है. तो रेट ऑफ फोटोसिंथेसिस डिक्रीजेस. To continue to have high rate of photosynthesis, some of the plant they are adapted to have C4 cycle. That means to overcome the photorespiration. Then what is photorespiration? Let you know. In presence of high light intensity and high concentration of oxygen, this RUBP carboxylase become RUBP oxygenase. As you know that in C3 cycle, which primary acceptor? Carbon dioxide. RUBP is the primary acceptor of carbon dioxide. In presence of RUBP carboxylase, it fixes and convert into 12 molecule of PGA. But in presence of high light intensity and high concentration of O2, C3 plant, in C3 plant, RUBP carboxylase become RUBP oxygenase, and thereby this photosynthetically fixed carbon dioxide get lost in the form of phosphoglycolate. That is 50% of photosynthetically fixed carbon dioxide converted into PGA, which is supposed to be part of Kelvin cycle, and phosphoglycolate, which is not part of Kelvin cycle. That means 50% of photosynthetically fixed carbon dioxide get lost in the form of phosphoglycolate. To overcome this loss in presence of high light intensity and high concentration of O2, C4 plants are adapted to have Kelvin cycle deep into the bundle itself. That is away from the light intensity and away from the high concentration of O2. That is known as Cran's anatomy. What is Cran's anatomy? Let us understand. I have clearly mentioned in notes what is Cran's anatomy, and without Cran's anatomy we cannot understand that C4 cycle, and therefore let you understand first what is Cran's anatomy. I have mentioned here that Cran's type of anatomy. It means that two types of cell, mesophyll cell and bundle cells, are involved in C4 cycle. Mesophyll cell, they have granule chloroplast, means having chloroplast with grana. Bundle cell have no grana. They are simply chloroplast with starch contained inside the stroma, no grana. Why? Because Kelvin cycle occur in bundle cell, and Kelvin cycle do not require light, or light phase do not require, because that photophosphorylation is completed in mesophyll cells. Mesophyll cells are connected with bundle cell through plasmodesmata. Whatever product of light phase through plasmodesmata are transferred to the bundle cell. Now very important is that why Calvin cycle occur deep into the bundle sheath cell, away from light intensity and high concentration of O2. See, I have mentioned here mesophyll cell and bundle sheath cell. This Calvin cycle occur deep into the bundle sheath cell, that is away from the light intensity. Leaf surface, epidermis, mesophyll cell, and then bundle sheath, that is what midrib, cells around the vascular bundle called bundle sheath cell. They are very thick and they have chloroplast without grana. Because Calvin cycle do not require grana. Calvin cycle takes place in stroma. Therefore, chloroplast present in bundle sheath cell are agranal, and that is known as Kranz anatomy. So, study of occurrence of photosynthesis in mesophyll and bundle sheath cell. Occurrence of C4 cycle in mesophyll and bundle sheath cell is a Kranz type of anatomy. Now, let us understand what is C4 cycle. In C4 plant and C4 cycle, carbon dioxide acceptor is PEP instead of RUBP, because RUBP combined with CO2 in presence of RUBP carboxylase, but because of midday time having high intensity of light, RUBP carboxylase become RUBP oxygen. To overcome that loss, in C4 plant, primary carbon dioxide acceptor is phosphoenol pyruvate. This phosphoenol pyruvate combined with atmospheric carbon dioxide in presence of PEP carboxylase and form oxaloacetic acid. This is dicarboxylic acid, and therefore this cycle is also known as dicarboxylic acid cycle. Remember that word, also known as C4 cycle. Why? Because OAA is oxaloacetic acid is 4 carbon compound. Now first product is OAA, ultimately it converts into malic acid. Malic acid is produced in mesophyll cell, transport through plasmodesmata into bundle sheath cell, where it leave carbon dioxide for Calvin cycle as well as get converted into pyruvic acid. Now carbon dioxide is available in deep into the leaf in bundle sheath cell, where there is no effect of light, there is no effect of concentration of O2. Hence that RUBP rubisco act as a carboxylase and Calvin cycle is completed and glucose is produced. That was the final aim of C4 cycle. Now ultimately, byproduct pyruvic acid once again diffuse out from bundle sheath cell to mesophyll cell through plasmodesmata. Once again, that pyruvic acid diffuse from bundle sheath cell to mesophyll cell through plasmodesmata, where it undergo phosphorylation to regenerate phosphoenol pyruvate once again to absorb atmospheric carbon dioxide and form OAA. This is known as C4 cycle. What is the definition of C4 cycle? Cyclic regeneration of PEP to combine with atmospheric CO2 and form oxaloacetic acid is known as C4 cycle. It is expensive. Why? 12 extra ATPs are required. Already we know, here we learn that total 18 ATPs are required. 18 ATPs are required. 12 ATP here and 6 ATP here. So 18 ATP. But in addition to this 18 ATP, 12 more extra ATPs are required in C4 plant. That is what the difference between C3 and C4, major difference. Although it is expensive, but C4 plant can work out photosynthesis with 100% use of carbon dioxide in presence of high light intensity and high concentration of O2. And that is the adaptive advantage to the C4 plant over C3 plant. I hope you did understand why C4 plants are adopted to have Hatch-like pathway, although C3 cycle is there. So in C4 plant, this Hatch-like cycle, including Calvin cycle, it does not mean that C4 cycle means there is no Calvin cycle. Yes, Calvin cycle is also included in C4 cycle, which occur in bundle sheath cell to produce the carbohydrate. So please draw this, practice this diagram so as to understand what is C4 pathway. This is also concluded in steps: carboxylation, release of carbon dioxide for Calvin cycle inside the bundle sheath cell, and regeneration of PEP. I hope you got it. And these notes, whatever I have given explanation to you, you go through these notes. You will get detail about these notes. All the points are clearly mentioned here. You please go through whatever I did explain to you. Everything is mentioned word after word. Note down these notes and get prepared for C4 cycle with that diagram. I hope everything is given in clear, so that you will not find any difficulty to prepare for this C4 cycle. Even though if you are in doubt, you can ask in comment section. If you require any assistance, you can write the questions in that comment, so that followed by we will have that explanation in the next video. and I appeal you to like our channel and subscribe it. Thank you. Happy learning.